Myers, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make pan de muertos. So basically the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to activate our yeast so that it comes to life and works really nicely. What you want for that is some warm water. Make sure it's not too hot, just warm. And I'm going to go ahead and also put in about a quarter cup of margarine and just a little touch of sugar, just so that the yeast has something to eat. And I'll go ahead and put my yeast in there and give it just a quick little stir. And I'm going to put a little bit of milk, about a quarter cup of milk. I'm using almond milk, but any milk will do. And then we will wait until the yeast gets all fluffy and excited and activated. Okay, it's been a couple of minutes. My yeast is alive and active and ready to go, so I'm going to start putting in my other ingredients. I have about a quarter cup of sugar, 2 eggs, a little bit of vanilla extract, and a little bit of orange extract, just a pinch of salt. Zest 1 lemon into here. It takes a really long time. Okay, at this point I'm gonna mix up all of these ingredients and get ready to start adding my flour, which I'm gonna add just a little bit of at a time. I have about 3 cups. What we're gonna want is a very soft, pliable dough. At this point, I have a nice shaggy mixture, so I'm going to switch to kneading it. You can also do this with a stand mixer. Pan de Muertos is typically made during the entire month of October in kind of southern Mexico. It was originally, I think, used as an offering to kind of give respect to the dead. Okay, at this point, I have a nice ball of dough, and I'm gonna let this rest for just about an hour with a kitchen towel over it in a warm place in my kitchen. So now that I've let my dough rest, I'm gonna take, I don't know, maybe a quarter of it-ish, and I'm gonna put it off to the side, and I'm gonna make a round ball with the rest of this. Okay, at this point I have a nice tight ball of dough. So I'm gonna put that to the side, and I'm gonna work on the decorations for the top of it. I'm gonna take just a little piece of dough off of here. I'll show you what we use it for later. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut this about in half, and I'm gonna roll it so it'll just be like a long tube. It looks a little bit like a skull and crossbones, and that's one of the kind of theories about what it might be supposed to look like. I'm going to make the skull and crossbones look with my hands by kind of putting a little bit more dough on the end, giving it a little less in the middle, and then giving it another spot where there's more dough. And I'm gonna do the same thing on both sides. I have a kind of lumpy, long piece of dough, and I'm going to drape it over my bread. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the exact same thing with this other piece. It's gonna go across just like that. So I need to make sure that the middle bits are pretty thin so that they don't completely explode when it rises again. Now I have this nice decorated loaf, and I'm going to take this final little piece of dough and I'm going to make it into a teeny tiny little ball, and I'm going to place it on the top. Some people say that this represents the skull, some people say that this represents the heart. I'm going to put it right there on the top. Now I'm going to cover this with a dish towel, and I will let it have another rise before I put it in the oven at 350 degrees. I've let my dough rest for another hour. It's all puffy and ready to go into the oven, and I have preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and I'm going to go ahead and put my bread in the oven for about 20 minutes before I check it. My bread has been in the oven for about 20 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and take it out. And here we have it, a pan de muertos.